What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo. We finally reached stage 40 against Knull. And when you do reach stage 40, you're going to need characters with the agility tag. And the funny thing about this is there aren't a whole lot of characters that are super strong with the agility tag. I mean, there's some strong characters, but, even with 25%, at stage 40, it gets pretty damn difficult for characters to be able to do this. However, there was one that shined, and that was Shang Chi, right? This guy can get it done. This was my first clear against stage 40 using Shang Chi. And the thing about this character is other characters that have agility are White Fox. And Shang Chi does have the leadership tag. And he also can take advantage of Wave, who also has the agility tag. But a lot of these characters, there's no way in hell they're going to be able to do it. I mean, Proxima, she really doesn't have any other damage supports other than Mystique, right? So it's really difficult for her to do it in this high level, maybe with a different obelisk other than a mighty CTP of energy that has extra attack. Maybe she could do it. Gambit cannot do it with a mighty CTP of energy with the beatdown proc. I've tried it even with 126% energy attack. He can't do it. I haven't tried Iron Fist yet. I don't know if he can do it or not. Corvus is actually weaker than Proxima. I don't see him really doing it. I mean, there's a lot of these characters just can't get it done. Now, Silcare, she could get it done. I feel pretty confident that she could absolutely do it, but unfortunately I don't have her awakened. And honestly, every time I look at this uniform, I just want to smack myself in the face because she really needs to be leveled up. If you're going to spend money on something like this, you really want to get the full advantages of the character, especially when they're as strong as Silk is, and she plays super well with the damage proc. And actually, the brilliant CTP of destruction would actually play pretty awesome on the character. However, there is one that I will be getting a tier 3 4 that will be able to get it done. And I might end up slapping that brilliant on this guy. Originally, I was going to maybe put it on Doom, but I'm really world boss oriented and I want to push in world boss as much as I can. And, I might end up in a situation where I might have to move around that brilliant CTB of destruction on certain characters to be able to plow through the content. Spider-Man is one of those characters. Spider-Man, has the agility tag, and I can absolutely use him, and I will be tier 3 him. All I'm waiting for is that tier 3 selector to come in that mailbox. But today it's all about Shang-Chi. This character is pretty godly. Now, full admission, guys, I don't like playing this character. I really, in fact, hate playing this character. I love Shang-Chi. I love that he's a martial artist. I'm down for it, man. I'm a guy that studied Muay Thai for years, so I am down for that. I freaking love him, and there's a lot of things about the character I actually really do like as far as his kit. But what I don't like is his long cooldown on his 4th skill, 10-second cooldown. Now, there is a long cooldown on the 5, but this thing can actually get reset from the 1 skill, and then there's a 9-second cooldown on that 1 skill. It's not that bad as far as the 5th skill is concerned, but the 4th skill just has that long cooldown, and I hate it. I hate running around. I mean, I know we do it with the brilliance and the CTPs, but sometimes it's nice just to sit in the pocket and just keep attacking. But Shang-Chi does have insane survivability, thanks to his crazy 100% recovery heal on his tier 3. That is just nuts. And then he has another 50% recovery heal on his 3rd skill. The guy just doesn't die. That's the thing. His survivability is so good. That's like as far as survivability is concerned, Shang-Chi is one of the top tier characters when it comes to that. He is just godly because of those insane heals. And then, of course, he has the ignore targeting from his tier 3 on all of his skills. That is crazy for 13 seconds. So nobody gets away from him. The increased all attack by 90% is just nuts, right? And the extra chain damage by 90%. I mean, they gave him an amazing kit. And he's unique because his tier 3 doesn't do any damage. It just gives him all these buffs to go into his other skills. But the thing that makes Shang-Chi so annoying to play is that you really, if you want to play him optimally, you have to utilize the co-op skill when you're using him. Because when you do use his co-op skill, because he has such a long cooldown in his 4, the co-op actually does the 4th skill for Shang-Chi. Right? So if you're going back and forth between, you use your regular 4 skill, then you'll use the co-op afterwards, and you keep kind of fluctuating between them, but there is a 30-second skill cooldown on that co-op skill, it makes them really awkward and unorthodox to play. And that's the thing that I don't like about him. And the other thing I don't like is he doesn't do a lot of hits on his 4th skill. Now, he does do quite a few hits on the 5th skill, but using his CTP of Rage, which is the optimal obelisk for this character, and he might be better with a brilliant. Maybe if I put a brilliant on, he would be insane. But I'm not putting a brilliant on this character. He's not exactly the most proc friendly. I mean, you can play with a proc, obviously, because you can easily cancel the tier 3. You can easily cancel the 5. I mean, you can play with the proc with the character. He is fairly proc friendly, but because of these super long cooldowns, I don't know. Personally, for me, I find it pretty annoying. But, I mean, you do have to wait 10 seconds before you can use your proc again from your strike proc or your beatdown proc. So maybe it would be all right on him. But I really don't want to put it on him, to be perfectly honest. I'd rather just save the brilliant CTB obstruction and slap it on maybe someone like Spider-Man, because I think Spider-Man is probably... I don't know if he's stronger than Shang Chi. I don't know if he is or not. But... he's definitely more proc friendly, and I would prefer just to slap it on him, especially since it costs, 1,500 crystals to unequip a brilliant CTB. It's just insanely expensive to do that, and I don't want to keep jumping around. Before, when we had the unequipping cost, it wasn't so bad, but now it's getting pretty damn pricey. But he is a godly character, right? Aside from my little complaints about the cooldowns, about how unorthodox he is to play, he is a god. I mean, he's got a nice attack buff on his fifth skill. He does have accumulation. This accumulation is just, I hate this thing, man. I mean, it's just stupid. 50% chance when attacking. I mean, and then it's on a 20-second cooldown. It's just, I wish that damn thing was always up. If that was always up, he would be even more godly, right? It wouldn't even make him over the top, but it would just make him a lot better and way more consistent. And that's the key word with him. He's very inconsistent. That's the thing. Even though he can do a lot of hits on his fifth skill, a lot of times he won't trigger the CTP of Rage. He doesn't have any guaranteed critical rate in his kit, and that is something that I find very, very annoying. But the ignore target dodge rate by 100% for 6 seconds, that's godly for Knull. I mean, that really is, having invincibility, immunity, and all the survivability tools. I mean, it's weird. It's weird because when I look at the character, he has an amazing kit. He really does. He has a godly kit. But the CTB of Rage is really where to go if you want to play with this character in PvE. A lot of players just play him in PvP because he has ignore iframe on his third skill and because of his recovery, and he has ignore iframe from his tier 3 for that 13 seconds. So a lot of people just like to use him in PvP, and he is very valid there. He's pretty freaking awesome. His uniform is a mythic. I mean, I got a really good build on this character, and I do have about 77% physical attack on my cards. So this is the very first time that I cleared stage 40, so I'll go ahead and bring it up for you guys, and we can check it out together. Now, the thing that I love about Shang Chi is that he can take advantage of White Fox, and I do have her newest uniform, right? She does give that 30% ignore dodge, but I mean, something about him is you don't have to worry about it, right? Because you have ignore dodge 100% on your fourth skill. So you don't have to worry about it. I am using Wave's leadership. She gives, 25% all attack. His leadership gives 24%, so we're gaining an extra 1%. And then we are getting a 50% damage to supervillains that applies to heroes from Wave. And of course, the 65% damage to supervillains from White Fox. And of course, her increase to attack and chain hit damage from her uniform effect. But, I mean, even on my account, this is actually pretty difficult for him because I just don't have a lot of physical attack. And I've said this in other videos, you're going to find, even when you have max Pierce like me with, with 25%, you're going to reach a point where you're just going to need more and more attack. You're going to need it because even my Shang-Chi has trouble doing this, right? I've seen other YouTubers do runs with him where they didn't have the White Fox newest uniform, and that thing does give a benefit. I mean, 5% damage to villains, then an extra 5% all attack does make a difference. And then, of course, the chain hit damage does make a difference, especially considering he has 90% chain hit damage from his tier 3. I mean, it's a lot of damn chain hit damage. And I have a CTB of Insight on my White Fox. But I just find that, I mean, he can do it. Like right now, you would want this first phase cleared, right? And I played it multiple times. And by the way, when it comes to his rotation, you really want to be using his 2 and his 1 as much as you can in between your rotations. That way you can try to get that tier 3 all cooldown faster. So it's always like, you always start with the 2, and then you go into 3, and then you hit the 5, and let that 5 play out a little bit till the proc engages if you're playing with a CTB of Rage. And once the proc engages, then hit your 4th skill. I like to have that proc engage before I hit the 4th skill. That way I get the most damage out of him. I'm just trying to build up my tier 3 right there. Okay, now when we have 8 seconds left on that 5th skill, then we can hit the 1 and it'll be able to reset. There we go. Now right there, what I should have done is I should have hit the 5th skill first, tried to build up my proc, then hit my tier 3, then hit my 4. And I would have got a little bit more damage out of him just now. I mean, that's the thing about Shang-Chi. He requires some really careful gameplay. I mean, you don't have to worry about dying with the character because of his heals, right? Because of his survivability, it's just nuts. But when it comes to playing him and using a proc, you know, I really try to let that 5th skill engage that proc, and then go into my tier 3 and go into my 4th skill, or go into my tier 3 and go into the co-op, right? If your 4 skill's on cooldown and you got your co-op available, then you want to go tier 3 co-op. You know, so he's a tricky little character to play, and that's something that I personally find very, very annoying about him. It's not that bad once you get used to it. You know, and then as you just saw, when he's at a distance, that 5th skill won't engage. That's something else that's kind of annoying, is his range. I really wish, like, he's got all this close range stuff going on, where that's where he's more viable, where he's like, well, not viable, but just better and more consistent. But if he's at, you know, a little bit of a distance, if he's at 3 or 4 character distances away from Knull, he won't engage that 5th skill, and that's damn annoying. I mean, that's just, I really wish that he had more range. There we go, there we go. And, I mean, even at stage 40, the guy's so tanky that I can actually take attacks from the purple attacks. I can actually take attacks from the final stage. Like, you can just start attacking in the final stage. I mean, he's just... I mean, the dude is just like... It's funny because he's a regular human, but he's got better survivability than, you know, even Black Order characters, which is crazy. It's just crazy. But, yeah, okay. But it's cool. It's cool. I mean, he hits like a truck when he does that 4th skill. He does. He hits like an absolute truck. And you can see even the 5th skill does do quite a bit of damage. But you really want to proc on that 4. It's really kind of a cross between the 5 and the 4. You let the 5 engage the proc a little bit. And once that proc starts, if you got a good 3 seconds left, then go ahead and hit the 4th skill. And I didn't play Shang Chi that much whenever I did this run. So, I mean, I'm sure I can improve the rotation. I'm sure I can make it even better. But like right there, Knull jumped far away from me, right? He jumped away from me. And I couldn't go into my 4th skill, right? Even though I had to ignore iframe. Just, I don't know, really, really annoying character to play. But we do have invincibility on our 3rd skill. So we can actually engage without getting guard broken. Do a little bit of damage. I mean... He's an awesome character for sure. I mean, he's actually godly, in my opinion. It's just, he's just funky to play, right? And look, I couldn't go into my 4th skill there. Had to get close up. I don't know, man. You know, he's a bad boy. I mean, 10 seconds to spare, guys. So, I mean, you know, on my account, it's actually would be very difficult for him to push any higher than this, because I really need more physical attack. And maybe I just need to work on my rotation a little bit, but you can only use that tier 3 and that 5th skill only so often, right? You know, I tried to squeeze in the 2 as much as I can, and maybe I could do a little bit better, but even after I changed my rotations, after I made this recording, I still was like getting around the same amount of damage, right? Even when I could do my tier 3 just a little bit more often, I still was getting around the same amount of damage. So in order for me to push any further in World Boss, more than likely either I'm going to have to beef him up, put a brilliant CTP of destruction on him, which I don't really want to do because it's insanely expensive. 1,500 crystals is just nuts. Or just wait until I get Spider-Man and then slap that brilliant on him, because I would prefer to have it on Spider-Man than I would Shang-Chi, because I just feel like Spider-Man is just more of a proc-friendly character. But still insane that this free-to-play character that's only 800 CCF can actually do stage 40. That really is nuts. So let me know what y'all think about Shang-Chi. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.